Today we're going to be taking a look at the top 10 lenses for the Canon 80D. I'm giving away a $25 Amazon gift card. All you have to do to enter is 1, like this video, 2, subscribe to this channel, and 3, leave a comment down below what you would do with those $25. I have a link to a list that I made of the top 10 lenses for the Canon 80D. That is in the description below if you want to follow along. It also has my notes for each lens so you can compare them side by side, all on one page. Starting off with number 10 is the Canon EFS 55-225 f4-5.6 IS STM telephoto zoom lens. This is a monster lens. You can get some shots from very far away and look like you're very close to your subject. Great thing about this lens is it has image stabilization, which you definitely need if you're going to be shooting that long, and the price is very reasonable at just under 140 bucks. You honestly can't get any better telephoto zoom lens for less than that price. Moving on to number 9 is the Canon EFS 17-55 f2.8 IS USM. Now this lens may look like it's pretty similar to the kit lens that you may have gotten with your Canon 80D, which usually the kit lens is 18-55, so this is right in that range, except it has a constant 2.8 aperture. That means you can get nice and blurred out backgrounds, and if you're shooting in manual mode, you won't need to constantly change your shutter speed or ISO when you're changing your aperture when you zoom in. The only downside with this lens is it's a little on the high end at 829 bucks. Moving on to number 8 is the Canon EF 85 Prime 1.8 lens. The reason I put this in there is because it is a nice sharp prime at 85 and the aperture is 1.8, which is super wide open. That means you're going to get awesome blurry backgrounds. This is really a portrait lens, and when paired with the Canon 80D can make some fabulous images. Number 7 is the Samyang SY85M C85 1.4 fixed lens. So this is very similar to the Canon one, except the aperture is one stop lower. The price of this one is $269 compared to the Canon one we just looked at, $369. So if you want to save a couple bucks, definitely recommend that Samyang lens. Number 6 is the Canon EFS 18-135 IS USM lens. This lens came out at the same time as the Canon 80D. It's actually one of the options for the kit lens, but by no means is it the quality that you normally would get on a kit lens. The autofocus on this is phenomenal, and when you pair it with the Canon 80D, it's just incredible for video and photos. This massive zoom range that you have here is unlike any other lens. You can start off really wide, but then get some awesome telephoto shots just with the same lens. And the best part about this is you only lose one stop of aperture when you go from 18 to 135, which usually is going to be 2 or 3. This is just an all-around great lens. If you haven't checked out my video talking about the top budget Canon LP-E6 batteries, I highly recommend you do so. There was a ton of variation between different brands and the price is all over the board. If you're planning on picking up some spare batteries for your Canon 80D, I'd highly recommend you check out that video so you get the best batteries for the best price. Coming in at number 5 is the Samyang SY14MC 14mm f2.8 ultra-wide fixed lens. So this is a very interesting lens because it is a fish eye. It's classified as a fish eye. You're going to get quite a bit of distortion, but with that said, it's an f2.8, so you're actually going to get a little bit of depth of field to work with, even though it's that wide, which usually doesn't happen. This lens is really great for vlogging when you want a nice wide angle lens for that. Also for landscapes, when you want to show a whole city or town or something, this lens is great for that. Number 4 is the Canon EFS 10-22 USM lens. So I just talked about how that Samyang lens is great for vlogging. This is the lens that I would say a majority of vloggers who vlog with a DSLR like the Canon 80D, most of them are using this 10-22 lens. And the reason is because it's decently sharp, but also 10-22, you can get super wide angle at 10, but also zoom into a more standard range of 22. Awesome lens right there. Number 3 is the Canon EFS 24 f2.8 STM prime lens. So just picked up this lens and I totally understand why people call it the pancake lens. It is the flattest lens I have ever seen, which really makes this great for travel because it takes up practically no space. And 24 is a great focal length to have a prime because it's really standard and good for almost anything. Number 2 is the Canon EFS 10-18 IS STM lens. So I picked this up because the specs on this look pretty awesome. 10-18, super wide angle, and it has image stabilization. I can tell you that wide angle is really nice to have, and that image stabilization is super handy. Only downside, this is not quite as sharp of a lens as some of the previous ones, and the aperture is a little on the higher end, and it changes when you zoom in, which is not super great, but it's manageable for that awesome wide angle. Alright, here we are. Number 1, it's the Canon EF 50mm f1.8. Coming in at $125 is this awesome prime lens. If you're wanting to get a little more creative than what you can do with your kit lens, I'd say this is the lens to start out with. 50 is a nice medium to telephoto length, it's right in that range, and since it's 1.8 you can get some super blurry backgrounds that look like they were shot on a $1,000 lens. If you're looking for something a little bit better in the same range, you can actually get a 50 1.4, which is the one that I have. I've absolutely loved it. Great for tech reviews, portraits, all that good stuff. And if you want to get even better, this one's like $350, somewhere in that price range. And then there's actually another one, there's a 50 1.2, except that one's like over $1,000. So you're really getting a great bang for buck when you buy this lens, $125. Can't go wrong with that. Once again, the link to this list with all of my notes is in the description below. If you're trying to decide which lens is best for you, you can go on there and compare all of them. Stay tuned for more videos talking about all of this stuff. And as always, don't forget to keep it pro.